So, Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is like a game that's a mix of Apex, Tarkov, and Division all in one. It has the loot elements of Tarkov, the pace of the Division, like the PvP and the movement, and then Apex just mashes it all together perfectly. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though, and let's talk about Arc Raiders itself. Arc Raiders is a third-person extraction shooter set in future Earth, devastated by what are so-called arcs. You play as a raider who ventures above ground from an underground base to salvage materials and fight mechanized AI and human players. And it's stated to release October 30th, 2025. These are also the people that also created the finals, so I have high hopes for the futures of Arc Raiders, and that's why I'm making this video, because I believe this game has so much potential. So that's the setup. Let's dive into the game head on and talk about what this game has to offer. The first thing we're going to talk about is the core of Arc Raiders, as well as the home base that everyone will start off living in. While in the home base known as Speranza, you can visit different areas in the base, which are known as the Play Tab, the Workshop, the Raider Room, the Trader Floor, the Decks, and finally the Store. These areas will be very useful to you as you progress through the game, and I will briefly talk about all of them now. First, let's start with the Store tab. Currently in the playtest, it is unavailable, so we will have to wait until the full launch to see what they will be selling, but hopefully it will just be cosmetic. Moving on, we're going to talk about the Decks tab. This tab, I believe, will be used for the Battle Pass system in the near future, but to be honest, I don't really understand it that much, so we'll just have to wait for the full release to figure it out. Focusing now onto the trading floor. The trading floor has multiple traders that all offer a wide range of items to purchase with the in-game currency you earn by selling items from the wasteland above. These items can range from utility items like grenades and a special raider key, which we will talk about later, as well as a range of different weapons, medical supplies, and much more. This place is great for buying up things that you currently can't craft. Next up is the Raiders room. This room is used to edit your character's appearance, like switching outfits and changing your hairstyle. But most importantly, it is where your skill tree can be found. This skill tree allows the player to become continuously stronger as they complete quests and fight arcs and human players alike. For now, we only have access to one skill tree, but I believe when the full launch of the game comes out, we will have access to different skill trees that will affect the way you play the game currently. The next room is the Workshop. The Workshop is the place where you can use all the valuables you just got from extracting and turn into a multitude of different things, such as different weapons, ammo, medical supplies, and other useful things that will help you up top. Also, you can't forget Scrappy the chicken. He passively collects you materials as you're on the surface, so you won't go home empty-handed even if you end up dying. All hail Scrappy, he is the GOAT. Let's be honest here. Finally, we're going to cover the Play tab. The Play tab is used to look at currently assigned quests, as well as any news or updates about the game. And you can obviously see who is in your party on the screen as well. Also forgot to say this, but the party size currently is groups of 3. So 2 friends and yourself, or unfill to get random teammates. When you finally get your squad together, you can decide on where to explore, as well as what you would like to bring to the surface in the loadout screen. Unfortunately, in the last playtest, I was only able to explore one of the 4 possible locations that will be released at launch. The one I was able to explore was called Dam Battlegrounds. But just this map alone and the visuals of the map, I can tell you that this game has limitless possibilities for map design, and hopefully they can capture the eeriness of the world they've built. Staying on the topic of maps, let's talk about what you obviously be doing in the map. I'm breaking this one.
Water filter, I was fucking...
Obviously, as you explore the map, you will find different forms of loot all across the map in every nook and cranny. But if you really want to get either a lot of loot really fast or the best tiers of loot, you'll have to explore the highlighted areas marked as medium tier loot or high tier loot. Spread all across the map, there are hidden different mini objectives that you can complete to achieve different or more loot, like keycard rooms, find and deliver objectives, defending a supply drop, and a lot more. But in the future, I will obviously showcase them in different videos. But going back to the basics, most loot will be found either just lying around, or you can do a short animation to break or breach all sorts of things across the map. And usually you will find better tiers of loot within these break and breach containers. I won't go over every lootable item, but I do suggest scavenging fallen Ark robots. We will talk about the robots themselves in a little bit, but the loot of these robots are usually extremely good because the things they drop, for example, an Ark alloy, will help you advance in the game fast by upgrading your workshop or crafting powerful medical supplies that will help you in a pinch. Another big thing of looting is the inventory space along with the weight of your raider. Both these values can be tweaked with different augments when you assemble your loadout before you go to the surface. Just keep in mind, if you do end up being overweight with your loot, you will receive a debuff. This debuff will have your stamina reduced, stamina recharge rate reduced, and all movement states will become slower. The most important slot in your inventory is the safe slot. You can also increase the size of the slot with different augments, but the safe slot allows you to bring home the item in that slot no matter if you get out safe or die. As you continue to pick up items throughout the world, remember to always have something in your slot so you can at least go home with one item even if you end up dying. Switching over to another big part of the game. Reloading.
Is this a grenade?
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about PvP.
Cracked him, right there.
Full dead. And PvE. That's another draw. Oh my god! These categories are the most fun aspects of this game, and it will also be probably the most stressful part of this game as well. But let's just start with the basics first. As you continue to explore and loot, you will eventually come across an Ark. These Ark robots have a variety of different forms. They could be a ball that rolls around and explodes if approached. These are called pops. Or it could be an Ark that flies around the map killing anything that moves and is basically unkillable. Oh, it just shot me! What?
Right.
And these are known as Rocketeers. Keep in mind when fighting Arks, usually heavier weapons are more favored when fighting them due to the high amount of armor on the majority of the robots. Remember, when fighting these Arks, you will make a lot of noise, and you may get the attention of nearby Arks or possibly other players. In the match, there are around 6 to 7 other squads that will be roaming around. For the playtest, there was no boundary for who could be in whose match, but I believe they will introduce a loot separation barrier so fully geared teams won't go against underpowered or lower geared players to make the matches more quote-unquote fair. Back to the PvP. I don't exactly know how to describe it, but the PvP feels amazing, in the sense that it's not slow and methodical like Tarkov where you can die in 2 bullets, but also isn't fast enough to allow a stupid decision to be punished with insanely dumb movement mechanics or other factors. It makes you second guess your decision into going into a fight if you're in a bad position or low on important supplies. This allows outplays to happen with not just skill, but also using your brain to think ahead and to capitalize on what your opponents did or will screw up. But trust me, you guys will understand it if you haven't played it yet. You'll see the possibilities of this game. Finally, when you get all your loot, you can extract.
Ark alloy? Should I use that?
There are 2 different ways to extract. The main way is by extracting through a designated elevator or through a hatch key exit. First, the designated elevators. Each elevator has a built-in timer that slowly counts down until either the match ends or until the match timer hits a certain threshold. A quick thing to note is that there will always be at least one of these until the end of the match. If the designated elevator still has time left, you are able to call home base and they will send an elevator for you. Remember, when you begin the calling sequence, there will always be a loud alarm that goes off and will alert any nearby ARCs, as well as any human players to your extraction. So you will have to hold the area down until the elevator arrives. Usually this elevator takes around 45 seconds until you're able to enter and go to the control panel and call the elevator back down. This is obviously very risky, but it doesn't cost you or your squad anything in terms of money. The other possible way to extract is by using a hatch key exit. You can identify them by the hatch key needed to enter the extract point. The hatch key itself can be only purchased by one of the traders every 24 hours. So this means you can only use a hatch key once a day, unless you find one off a dead player or your other teammates have to buy one. These hatch key exits are spread all across the map and are in more remote spots, and these allow for safer extracts. Usually you'll have to wait for the extract just like before, but there won't be any flashy alarms, so ARCs and human players won't be alerted unless they are in very close proximity. Another thing to remember is that the extract location only stays open for 15 seconds, so quickly enter the exit or it could possibly close on you and your squad. There are a multitude of different hatch key exits spread across the map, and all exits have no timers. This allows you to stay in the match for as long as you like until the main timer expires. Now that I explained the quote-unquote cycle of ARC Raiders, I hope that you'll see the possibility of this game and see if this game is right for you. But other than that, I hope to see you guys all on October 30th and to explore what the full game has to offer.